What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, of course, as you all know by now, it was last week that actress Anne Heche was declared dead at the age of 53 following the effects of a fiery car crash that she was involved in back, I believe it was on August the 5th, when her car crashed into the side of a home. Surveillance video shows that she narrowly missed hitting someone, a pedestrian, and had the person who was the resident of that home been into the area where she crashed into, we could be talking about two additional fatalities to the situation. She also had cocaine and fentanyl in her system, and I believe she had although I don't think it was above the legal limit, I believe she had alcohol in her system. All right. So you would think, although there would be a lot of sympathy and sadness among her fans and friends as far as her passing and the tragicness of it. The thing I find interesting is that, number one, nobody gives a fuck about the woman who almost lost her life in that house. You know, nobody gives a fuck about that, that she could have been killed. And everyone is absolving all responsibility and blame for Anne in the situation. And they're looking to blame someone else. I know there's two things that's popping up. Number one, they're trying to blame this guy right here on social media, which is fucking despicable. And number two, they're trying to make this out to be some type of sinister, like some bigger sinister plot to silence Anne for some reason. Look, all right. So let me get to this first point. All right. So this guy's name is Richard Glass. And I believe he owns a hair salon in Venice. And he may have been the last person to see her alive before she careened into a house in her home. And he's riddled with guilt because he didn't save her. He's also furious at people on social media who are blaming him. So basically it goes on to say he's pissed off that people are accusing him of supplying her with drugs. And also, he feels guilt because he didn't save her. Okay? Oh boy, I'm trying to be nice here, man. Look, I understand that that's someone that he knew and he feels a lot of sadness. And I'm a very empathetic person. I am. I'm a very empathetic person. But at the same time, man, I've been scarred, like a lot of people, by the realities of this country. And I just tend to see things a certain way. And a lot of people listen to this video know where I'm going with this, all right? I find it interesting that the media is focusing on this individual. They're focusing on him, and even though there's no evidence at all to support the accusation that he supplied her with drugs, the man said he's never used drugs in his life. But for some reason, he's being accused of being a drug dealer with no evidence whatsoever. Look, I'm going to tell you something that happened one time to me a long time ago. I think I might have mentioned this before. I remember when I was in my mid-20s, I worked two jobs, right? I worked at a law firm. I wasn't a lawyer, but I just worked at a law firm as a contractor. And I had a part-time job working cleaning, right? So I'm a type of person that's very particular about my hygiene. So after working all day on my full-time job, I was switching to my uniform for my part-time job. So I go into the bathroom. I don't strip. I just took off my work shirt from the first job, right? Put on my uniform for uh, my part-time job. But I would like take a paper towel and wipe my face down, and I would use oxy pads to kind of get do a real good facial clean and all that, and I would brush my teeth again and whatever, right? Now you can clearly see I have a badge. I work there. Some racist piece of shit reported to security that a homeless man had broken into the building and he needed to be escorted out. I clearly have a badge on. I clearly have a work shirt on. But in your racist fucking mind, you see a homeless man. And that's what I'm talking about with this country. It's sick people out there, bro. They don't even realize that they're racist. Nobody's ever called them out on it. A lot of people have never called these people out for being racist. And the fact that you look at a black person and that's what pops in your mind, the first thing that pops in your mind, I'm seeing people say, well, if they could find that he even sold drugs at the establishment, he needs to be arrested on criminally. He needs to be like, man, why are you focused? Why are everybody focusing on this dude? Has it ever occurred to people? Because from what I gather, he sold her a wig. Has anybody ever thought that maybe the reason she got a wig from there is because she didn't want to be recognized scoring drugs? Did it ever occur to a motherfucker to think logically? She bought a wig because she was going to score some coke and some fentanyl from her dealer, and she probably didn't want to be recognized. Okay? She probably had on shades, and she probably wore a wig so people wouldn't recognize it was her. And then she took it off. But she was high as a kite, and this time, she wasn't able to control her high, especially if you're mixing cocaine and fentanyl. That's never occurred to anybody. And then another thing that gets me is people saying, if she was if she had brain injuries, well, why did she try to rise up from the gurney? If she had thermal injuries, why did she try to rise up? Well, people don't ain't a fucking movie, you dumb fuck. It's not a movie. See, in movies, people have burns off their body like, and they're fucking comatose. Like in a movie, they pull the people out, and the makeup artists put all of these fake thermal injuries all over the body, and they're unconscious from being pulled out. But that's not how it always works. I just don't understand people. Do you realize that she was probably in shock at that time? And the effects of the injuries that she sustained hadn't quite kicked in yet. It hadn't quite kicked into her body yet. Those probably were her last moments of consciousness. And then she went downhill as time progressed. I don't know, it's like all these people on social media are medical experts, expert detectives, conspiracy theorists. They're saying people try to shut her up because she was going to speak out about this and that or the other. Man, first of all, when you look at Anne Heche's past, she could easily be blackmailed and blackballed out of fucking Hollywood. You know what I mean? And there's no evidence whatsoever to suggest that she was going to go rogue and talk about any fucking thing. People just like intrigue and making shit up, man, and making it about them, really. That's what it really is about. People are trying to make this about them. These people have issues with Hollywood and secret societies, and they're trying to somehow turn her death into making it about them and how they feel. They're really just projecting themselves onto this Anne Hayes situation. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm sorry that she lost her life, but throwing this guy under the bus like that is very irresponsible from TMZ and other news media outlets. Unless he went to the media himself, But then again, even with that, you don't have to show him, because I think what's going to happen now is he opens himself up to hecklers. He opens himself up to losing business from ignorant people who's just going to believe the accusation anyway. So I don't know, man. This is just whatever. Tell me what you guys think. I'm just tired of these dudes, man, that have this mentality like, I got to save her and shit. I got to save this woman. Especially with brothers, man. I'm just, whatever.